are following this AZ-400 lab, and in this lab we are going to the module number 17. Okay, implementing feedback for the development team, and we are going to implement monitoring solution for your application using App Insight. So we are going to implement application performance for your App Insight, which you'll be able to see. We are going to integrate application Insight. So we are going to deploy a web app basically in the and we are going to generate and monitor web application traffic, and we are able to see those traffic into the application Insight. We are going to investigate Azure web app performance using App Insight. So how much we are getting a performance. Okay, we are going to track web service utilization. Okay, and we are going to create an alert if this is happening, how we can generate an alert into the application Insight, and you can send it to the any other person or a developer. So that's what we are going to do it here into this lab. Okay, so in this lab you can see here, this is going to going from the something called Azure DevOps demo generator app, and we are looking for something called Parts Unlimited. So we already have a Parts Unlimited project which is running, and we have already pulled our code into our DevOps. So let me check if I have already Parts Unlimited project available into my DevOps. Parts Unlimited, yes, and hopefully our pipelines are running. That's fine. Okay, so that's a Parts Unlimited project, and let me show you again if you want to see that how to pull the project. I'm going to delete the project as the existing project. So I'll go to the project and I'll drop my Parts Unlimited. Okay, I don't have Parts Unlimited now. Okay, I'm going back to the demo generator app and I'll try to pull the Parts Unlimited project again into our project, into our DevOps. So we are going to select a Parts Unlimited, select that, select your organization, put the Parts Unlimited and click on Create button. Okay, so once this is done, okay, so let this get created, and we'll look at the lab again. So once this is created, we are going to create Azure resources. So we need to create some of the Azure resources, and in the Azure resources asking me to create a web app plus SQL. Okay, so we are going to create a web app and the SQL together into our Azure portal. So I have to go on the create resources, search for the web app plus SQL. So I'm going to the, sorry, I'm going to the portal.azure.com. Okay, create new resources, search for web app plus SQL and select from the drop down. Now we are going to create a web app and SQL together. Click on create button. Now we have to enter a web app name. So it's asking me to enter any unique web app name here. So I'm going to enter a web app name called uh, mm, 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 parts Let me copy the same name. It will be easy. Paths Unlimited website. Something I'll give it. Okay. I'm going to give a website name called Paths Unlimited Web. Okay. So this is my website name which I'm giving it. I'm going to select a subscription, my subscription. I need to create a resource group. So let me find out what is the resource group name it is given. I'll create a resource group name which is given by the lab. I'll give the same name. Okay. Now it is asking me click on app service plan and click on the create new plan and create a new plan which you want to create. So now we have to create an app service plan. Okay, it's asking me to select a D2 tier shared, D1 shared. So I'll click on app service plan, and now I can go ahead and click on create plan. I can give the plan name. I can give a same something called uh, paths unlimited. Okay, I'll say a plan name called paths unlimited. So I'm giving a plan name paths unlimited plan, or I can say web plan. So that will be easy to understand. I'm going to deploy this into the East US location. It's asking me pricing tier for my web app. Okay, it's telling me to select a D1. Okay, I can select any plan based on the requirement. That's fine. D1 is fine for me. Shared infrastructure. I'll click on apply and I will click on OK. Now my web app plan is created. Okay, once web app plan is created, I'm going to create a SQL server. Okay, so web app plan is done. Now we are going back to this and we are going to create a SQL server and the database. Okay, now we have to click on the SQL database. Okay, click on the SQL database. It's asking me enter the globally unique SQL server name. So we have to enter okay, SQL server braid, click on database, go to that and enter a database name as Paths Unlimited. Okay, database name is Paths Unlimited, and the server name you have to enter a globally unique server name, Paths Unlimited. I can say DB server. Okay, that is not available. Paths Unlimited server. I'm giving this, putting just 2 days date so that it will be unique. Okay, so that it will be unique. It's asking me the username which is going to use for login. I'm giving a username here. I'm using the same password which is mentioned in the lab. I'm going to use this password. I'm deploying in the East US location, and it is saying that allow Azure services to access this server. So this means basically this checkbox means you are saying that whatever the services are available into Azure can read the data from this SQL server. Okay, so basically you are giving a firewall level permission using this. Okay, so you are allowing all the Azure services to access the data. If you'll remove this, then you have to specifically define that what IP you want to read the data from the SQL server. You'll say okay. So you have created this. Now you can click on configure the database server size, what database server size you are looking for. That you can go ahead and configure that. Okay, but that is fine. So is it asking me to change the database size as well? No, that's fine. Okay, so other things are fine. I can select here. I can come back to the web and SQL page here. It is asking me the app inside. Okay, so we are going to create an app inside as well together here. So on the app inside with the .NET Blade, it's just in collection settings, select app inside profiler and click on OK. If you go into app inside, okay, let's go ahead and hit create for now. So I'll be getting our app inside available here. Okay, so it is going to take another 2 minutes to create all those resources. It is going to get a web app, it is going to get an app inside, it is going to create a web app plan, it is going to get a database and the server. So all those things will be get created here. And now we have to deploy our application, the Paths Unlimited website from our code to this application. We have to go and create the or you can say we have to deploy the application using a DevOps. So this is the step which we have to follow now. So this project is also done. We are done with the it's in the process of creation. Okay, so it's getting created. That's fine. By the time I can go and modify our pipeline based on this lab. Okay, so we can go to the pipeline and we can go ahead and edit our pipeline into the release section. We'll go back to the our dev.azure.com. We are going to the Paths Unlimited project here. Let me refresh the page so that it will come. Paths Unlimited project. We are going to the release pipeline, and the deployment step we are going to modify it here. We click on edit. Now we see the multiple stages are here. Okay, we are going to delete all those stages here. So we are going to delete a dev and QA stage. We are going to delete. So let's delete this dev, delete the QA as well. Okay, now in the production environment, okay, we are going to configure this app services deployment. We have to set a Azure subscription. Okay, click on here, go to the and select appropriate Azure subscription which is available. Click on authorize button. Okay, and now click on save. Once you click on save, we have to link this continuous integration. So I have to say that after release I want to deploy. So once the build is ready, I want to do automatic deployment for this production environment. Now we have to go back to the variable section. If you look at the production, we are all looking from the variable. So website name has to come from the variable. Okay, so we have to go and set a website name into the variable. Okay, so whatever the website name, we have given a unique website name here into our portal. We have to give that name into our application as well. So I'm going to copy the website name. So this is my website name. Okay, I'm going to pass this website name into this website option. And I will going to click on save button. Okay, so my website name is up to date here. Let me check. So we are going to the pipeline. We are going to set a subscription. Now we are going to the stage. We are saying after release. We are going to configure a variable name called a website name, and we are going to save this step here. Once you save this, now we have to do a continuous integration, or you can say continuous deployment kind of thing. Before that, what we have to do, we have to go to the web config, and there is something called app insight key. Okay, in the application configuration. Okay, we have to go and get this configuration key here and the connection string key. So two things we have to get it from there. So let's go and show you here. In the repository for this application, we have a Paths Unlimited. We have a website, Paths Unlimited website. Inside the website, we have a web.config file. So if you look at this web.config file, this is having a two thing. One is application setting, which is application inside. Another is a default connection string. Okay, we need to have this two values available with me so that I can override this after deployment. So currently my development code is having the different value which has been created by the developer. He's referring to local database. But when I'm going to deploy, I need to override this value so that I will be able to communicate with the different database. Okay, I'm copying this default connection string and the application insight name. So the application insight which I have actually deployed into the server, I'll be going to refer this application insight as well. Okay. To trigger the continuous integration, I'm just going to click on edit button. Okay, I'm going to give a small space here, nothing else. I'm just going to give a small space and I'll say commit and finish. Once I do the commit, my CI will start. So I did not do any code changes. I did given a small space, and which caused me the continuous integration. The build is running now. After that, release will start and it will deploy the code to the your environment. Okay, so this is what we are doing here. We have committed the web.config file and now the code is getting triggered here. It's asking me to go to the application Azure portal and set this configuration which you have copied. Go ahead and do that configuration onto the server. Okay, in the application configuration, click on app instrument, click on edit value and go ahead and add those keys and the connection string into the Azure portal. So I'm going to Azure portal here. Okay, this is my website. I need to go to something called application configuration. Okay, this is the configuration section. Okay, here you can see here I need to add an application configuration setting. I'll click on add. I have to copy this application configuration value over there as a key, and in the value I need to enter the value of the application insight so that you will be able to connect your application with the application insight. So I'm going back to the application insight. I'm copying the instrumentation key of your application system. This is the one of the important thing to send a data to the app insight. So this you need application instrumentation key. Go ahead and update the instrumentation key into the portal. So what we are going to do, a web config was having another value. When I'm writing a configuration into the app configuration, means my portal value will be having a higher, or you can say that it will going to override the code into the web.config file. We are going to add a connection string as well here. Okay, the connection string we are going to add for my database server. Okay, so I'm going to add a connection string of my database. Click on the show database connection string from your SQL Server database and then copy the code here. Try to replace this password here. So what is the password I have given during the creation of the database? That password I need to replace here. Let me get the password of my database. So this is my password of my database. Going to replace it here. Completely I'm going to copy, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this into the value section. The database name I have to give the, because I have to override the value, I have to make sure that whatever there in the web config, I have to mention that name as a connection string, and this is the connection which I have for the Azure SQL. Now I click on OK and then save the value into this configuration. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Correct. Hmm. Yeah, correct. See, in Azure portal, generally, this kind of activity will be done by your Azure, you can say the infra guy. Okay, so they are only going to look, view, or they are going to modify this activity. Yeah, but if you want to do the another accessing those securely, even you can store this into as encrypted format. Okay, one thing which you can do, the primary thing. Okay, so you have to write some set of code. Okay, so in the web config only, if you can see the, I can see the codes. Okay, so to secure those kind of codes, what you can do, you can write some encryption into your code. Okay, in the while developing the code itself, you have to think about that anyone can access my web config, and if anyone can access my web config, I'm going to keep this configuration as encrypted. Okay, so you can keep those value as encrypted. You can have a base 64 or base 32, whatever encryption you are doing, you can keep encrypted. And finally, in the while code, in the code, when you are going to use this connection string, you are going to decrypt that code. First thing which you can do. Another thing, this connection string and all can be stored into your key vault. Then what you have to do, when you are going to access the application configuration from your code, you are going to read the from the code itself, you are going to read the value to the key vault, and from the key vault you are going to take those value, and directly you are going to access those value from the code, you can say. Okay, so you can store your connection string, you can store your username, you can store your password into the key vault, and then you can access. So the two way which you can go ahead and use. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Correct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for the website, you have something called and this, you have identity. Okay. This is a system managed identity. Remember, we talked about system managed identity and user managed identity. When I'm saying I want to generate a system managed identity, I say on. I click on save. What happened? Identity will get created into the active directory. You can see this identity is getting created in active directory, and this identity, whichever is getting created, that I have to go and provide this identity access to my key vault. So remember, yesterday we have given access for my identity. Now identity has been created. Yeah. So when you are creating a key vault again, now you have to say to the key vault. Okay, let me open here. I'm saying I want to create a, okay, I want to create a key vault. And now while creating a key vault, I'm going to give access to that particular uh, in access policy. I'm going to add now my service principal here. So now you can see here the service principal are coming. Now I'm saying here this will be going to read my secrets. Okay, it is going to get my secret, list my secret, or if I want to give those more permission, you can give it here. Now what happened? Now my web application is able to read the key vault. Yeah. Identity. Hmm, hmm. Sys- yeah, this is a system managed identity. This kind of web app is getting created in active directory. So what happens if you look at the Active Directory? Where this pop-up is coming. Okay, you look for something called app registration. This is basically an app registration for me. Need to refresh. Yeah, it's where I have seen. That should come here. I think that's kind of app registration which you have to see. It should come here. Actually, it's not coming in. We have seen yesterday when we are created, it is coming here. Okay, so that you can do. So I talk about system managed identity. Remember that they were talking about. So when I say system managed identity, what happens? It's creating always a unique identity. Okay, in the Active Directory. If you are going to delete this, okay, you look at this. This is getting saying that it's getting in Active Directory. So this is the website is getting registered into the Active Directory, and this is creating always unique. When you are going to delete this website, what happened? The identity will also get deleted. Okay, but there is an option called user managed identity. If I'm saying I don't want a system managed identity, I'll save that. If I'm going to create something called user managed identity, what happened? Okay, it's disabled. Now I'm going to user managed identity. I'm going to create a user managed identity. Means being a user, I need to create identity. So I can go and create something called identity. Okay, currently there is no identity is available, that's why it's saying no identity. Now I can go and search for something called identity here, and you can say in the message is coming managed identity. I'll click on managed identity. I can create my own identity. So this is a user managed assigned identity that is called. You can create our own identity. Okay, and say my test identity. Okay, okay, and I'll say next. Next. Okay, you are creating your own identity. Now what happened? Identity has been created. Once the identity is created, I can assign this identity to the multiple web app. Let's suppose that I have a 10 web app. Okay, let's suppose that I have a 10 web application, and this all 10 application need to have a read permission. Okay, same kind of permission to the key vault. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create a one user identity, and I'll assign this identity to everyone. Okay, the user assign identity I have created, which I'll assign to everyone, and I will go and give the user man identity permission here. So one permission, I am managing all the application. So once I change the permission of this identity, everyone will be able to do the same kind of activity, and one identity I am managing access for all 4 application and giving one time access to the key vault. So that's the benefit you get it from the user managed identity. Okay, so you don't have to create and system managed identity basically creates identity, unique identity for everyone. Okay, and this user managed identity, it is going to create a every time one identity, and you can manage all identity to the different application. Okay, I can go and click on add identity. Okay, you can see identity is automatically coming. Even you can search the identity name. Okay, and then you click on that, add. Now this identity I'm going to give the access to the key vault. Okay, so I'll go back to the key vault, and I'll say I want to add one more identity here, and I'll look for the identity. Okay, I'll say add. Now I'm giving to give this permission to get and list update, whatever you want to give. Okay, I'll say add. Now you can see here my user managed identity is here, and identity, this identity, if I'll assign to the 10 web app, 10 web app will be able to access this key vault. Okay, so when this is important, when your application is talking with each other, this identity works. Okay, when being a user, if you want access, so you need a email ID, or you should be part of Active Directory. But being an application, if you want to communicate with each other, your application need to be registered as an identity. your application should have identity in the Active Directory. Okay, so that is what app registration comes in the picture here. And your application has to be registered, and then what you can do, you can go ahead and access your other things from that as well. So identity, why it is not coming? It should come as application. Where it is going? App registration, application created on yesterday's one coming. Terraform is coming, others are coming. Where is this gone? Or you can have a register application. Even you can click on register application, you can register the application in the directory you have up. You can enter your web URL if you are registering external URL also. So let's suppose that any external URL which need access to the key vault. Now what you have to do, you have to register that application. So you have option to register your application also in AD. So any external application or your on-premises application which need access, single tenant, multi-tenant, so all those type of application you will be able to do that. So this is completely, you can say, the your application management kind of thing which you'll be able to do. Okay, so I don't know why it is not coming. Yeah, yesterday we have seen when we created that. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, so hope you have understood this concept. Okay, so yeah, just remembering it. Okay, but this identity, whatever you created, if you delete this application, it will be still there, because maybe that you are sharing with a multiple application. That's why user identity works, and this helps you to share same kind of access with multiple application. But this is one of the secure thing which is having every time unique identity and having a different set of permission onto the different application. Then you can have a system managed identity kind of application. Okay, so what we have did, we have did two thing here. Okay, we'll see this later if you're able to find. Okay, so what we have did till now, we have configured our, you can see a managed identity. Okay, it's coming here. Okay, so okay, this I created, is my, I have created, so that's why it is coming here, managed identity. And system managed identity, I think it goes to the your Active Directory. That's fine. Okay, so okay, so what we have did. Mhm. No, this can be given to anything. Whatever I am creating, that is not, that is, I can create to anyone anywhere else. Okay, so yeah, but resource group is a logical thing. Okay, you don't have any relationship with this identity to this. I can move this to the any other resource group as well. So that is also possible. And let's suppose that I'm creating a key vault, and that key vault I want to deploy to the anywhere else. Okay, I can do that. So the key vault which I'm going to deploy. Okay, uh, so key vault, let's suppose that I'm creating a key vault into the dev resource group. Let's suppose that this is in the different resource group. I'm creating dev resource group, and I'm creating this key vault into the something called in Central India. I'm giving my test uh, vault 25 June. Okay, I'm getting a standard. I'm going to get next. I'm copying the name of this identity. I'll give the access to this identity for this key vault. I'll say I want to give this identity. I'll select the identity. I'm giving the secret, get, and list permission. I'll say add, and let's hit create. Okay, so I'm creating into different resource group into different location. Okay, so it's completely Basically it is talking about mostly on to the Active Directory level. Okay, so that is fine for me. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. See, app registration here it does same thing. Okay, so it does the actually the same thing. If you're doing new registration or you are creating identity, it is getting registered as an application only. Okay, and that you'll be able to, once you click on that, you'll be able to see your three things. When you're registered, you'll be able to see the client ID, object ID, and the tenant ID, and you are going to use this value to set up a relationship with that. So this is actually you can say it's a identity platform which you are going to say an application registration also. When you are going to register any app, you are getting the same thing app over there as well, these things. So the mm, mm, mm. See, yeah, so what this is what I have created here, Active Directory. I went app registration. Okay, I went to the app registration, I created an application, and you can see here this is showing me as a, if you search here application, you will be able to see this. Okay, so what happened, it is also creating an identity for me. Okay, now I can go to my key vault and I can give the access to this application. Now I can go to the key vault and an access management. I should be able to add that application as well here. You can see here, so this is just I've created an application and I have added here, and now you can give the permission or certificate access to that application, and I say add. Now it is done, and I've just went here and simply I have added here app registration. I've just given a HTTP localhost, nothing else. So that way you can go ahead and do that as well. So it's also creating a something, let's say the, it is creating a principal for you, identity for your application. Actually it's nothing, it's creating identity for your application. Like you create a username password, you're creating a username identity for your application as well. That's what you're doing. Correct. So fine, no problem. Mhm. Okay, so let's go back here what we were doing here and this lab. Okay, so we went to the pipeline and we removed the development and QA environment. After that, we modified our production environment. We did a small changes where we took a copy of this key and the connection string. We have taken the value of the app insight from the instrumentation from the your from the, you can say, the key of your app insight. So this is the app instrumentation key which we took, and that's what we have implemented. We have took this key, and this key we have done for this, and then we have configured a connection string where we have set this connection string. Okay, we have modified the password and we have updated this into the your into your website. So we went to the website and we have updated the value into the configuration. We have set this both the value into the app insight and the connection string. So if you click on show value, you will be able to see the value of the your connection string and the key of app insight. So in the code, we are using this insight key to write a data into the application insight. So that's why it is being used from the code perspective, and this connection is used to connect to the database. And let me check if my deployment was fine and it is done or not. So build is done. Let me check the release. Yeah, release is also done. So it is deployed the applications. Hopefully I should be able to browse the application. So first time it will take a little time to browse that. Okay, so we are good here. The website is up and running. What I will do here, you can see here I am able to browse all those tabs. Okay, that's fine. I want to generate some error onto this so that I'll be able to see the errors into the application inside. So currently, if you look at the web app, if we have an app inside, click on the app inside and you'll be able to view your app inside data here. If you click on that app inside, you will be redirected to the app inside. App inside will show you what is happening and what is the server response time, what is the server request, and all those things you will be able to see here. I go and refresh that page. Okay, so sometime I'll send the success request. Now I'm going to send some failure request. I'll add a 1 here instead of 1 URL. I'm getting an error here. Let me refresh few times. Okay, so I will get few errors into the server because this error is not properly tracked onto the website, and which is a error issues for my application code. Okay, now let me go back and check the app inside. If I'll try to refresh this page, last 30 minutes, I should be getting a failure request here actually. No, currently there's no failure. Why? Yeah, it looks like it's coming. Now you can see a 14 failure, it is mentioned here. So the failure is coming up here. Even you can see here server response time is how many requests I got. 26 requests I got total in half an hour, where in the 14 was failure. Okay, and the availability, it is showing how much percentage is available. So that is also even calculating, it is not yet done. Okay, so that's a first overview section you will be able to see always into the app inside. So that's a basic thing which you will be able to always look into the app inside, and you can see that. Okay, if you move to down, so there is a activity log, you have access control, we have seen that as well. You have a tags to add more tags for your environment or application. There is a something called application map. Okay, application map talks about how your application is getting connected with the different environment. Okay, so you have something called a website, it is getting communicated with your SQL database, and this is what it is saying, that one instance it is getting calculated. Currently there is no request, so it is showing the 0 millisecond. You have to refresh and the request will time will get updated here. So if you try to refresh, you will get some response time available here, how many success instance, how many failure is available. And this is basically talking about how your application is communicating, how the application is connected. Okay, and so this is what it is talking about, the application. Okay, and this is a client which is the application is getting browsed. Okay, then you have something called a smart detection. You can enable the smart detection. It is going to take a 7 days time. which is going to give you some suggestions onto your website how to improve your website. That is a smart detection is. You have a live matrix available here. Live matrix talks about that how the value is getting displayed. Okay, what is the incoming request, what is the outgoing request, what is a failure request, how much is a success request. All those things you will be able to see if you try to see into the live matrix here. Okay, so this is a live matrix which is start plotting. You can see incoming request, outgoing request, the request failed, request duration, everything. You will be able to see CPU total percentage. It is just refreshing every time. Okay, so it is showing the 60-second live. You can see a live data, overall health it is showing. So it's you can say a dashboard kind of thing which you'll be able to see into the application inside. That is a live matrix. Okay, so the live data which is coming up. You'll having something called transaction search. You will be able to do here. Okay, you can go to the search. You can do those activity here. You have something called availability. You will be able to see how much the application is available. Okay, in the transaction search, if you go and something you can do here, search data for 24 hours. You can see here how many data has came, all the data result you will be able to find actually in the search transactions. Okay, total request is 30, 20 was exception, 8 page view, 4 trace, total this much dependency you have, a total 600 requests it is saying. Okay, next we have something called availability, which you'll be able to see those availability, how much available it is, how many errors you got within 24 hours, within 30 minutes you'll be able to apply, and you'll be able to see in 30 minutes what is the overall performance it is, what it was there. Okay, it will be bit slow sometime to get those data. Okay, then you have a failure, how many failure you got. We got 23 count of failure. Okay, that all was 500 response code which we got, 500 error, invalid operation exception, it was not trying to communicate with SQL. Okay, so that's what the error we got. Okay, if you click on exceptions, you'll be able to see what all the error we got. Okay, so get 500 error you got. If you click on that, you'll be able to see more details onto that. You will be able to see the graph, like which page it was. Okay, how much millisecond it took time, what was the error. So everything you will be able to see, and you can drill down those. And this is basically helping a developer to investigate the issues and check the transactions, applications. Those you will be able to check here. You can look at the performance. Okay, overall performance, the first page was taking this much time. When I was getting get a store browser, it is going to take this much time. If I'm going to get index, this is going to take this much time. So basically it is talking about the services, which services is going to take what time, how much time it is going to get. Those things you will be able to even generate and see those transactions here. Okay, and if you go to that availability set, there is something called add a test you will be able to do. Okay, you can go ahead and run the test. Okay, if I'm going to run a test, you can go ahead and do the URL ping. So URL ping will help you in terms of check the health of the server, that how much the time it is going to take. Like if I'll say home page. Okay, I want to do a URL ping for home page. I need to copy the website URL here. Okay, I can copy this URL. I will put it on the URL ping. Okay, so this is going to ping a URL into the intervals. Okay, I want to run this test for every 5 minutes. I want to check a URL ping. I'll create that environment. What happened? It is going to test URL ping every 5 minutes, and it is going to tell me that from the different location how the application is performing. Okay, it will test the, you can see a home page test. It is going to run the home page test, and it is going to tell me what is the overall performance of this home page from the different location, and what is the availability which you have for this application. Okay, so it's running currently. Let it run. We'll come back to this, and we'll be able to see the URL pings thing here. We have availability here. Okay, we have a performance. We'll be able to see the performance of your application. That's why I was talking about the different operations for which your operation is going to take time. Okay, that you are able to see here. Okay, then you have something called troubleshoot guide, how to increase the performance, how to improve the performance, how to improve your request. This is just giving you a kind of reference guide, like how you can go ahead and improve your performance. You have alert as well here, so similar alerts you will be able to create, which we have created into monitor. You can go ahead and create alert takes you to the same place, a scope, condition, action group, and the alert name. You will be able to create alert here. You can go ahead and look at the metrics. Okay, so you can look at the performance, how much availability you have, how much the CPU percentage you have, how much test duration which is there, how much the field request you have. Everything you will be able to see into this chart. Even you can click on pin to dashboard, and you will be able to add this as a shared dashboard for your subscription or your private dashboard. You can go ahead and pin to your dashboard, and I'm saying I want to add to my dashboard. And if I pin the dashboard, I should be able to see this thing onto my dashboard even. Okay, so I have pinned to my dashboard, and I should be able to see this information onto my dashboard. Okay, so you can see here paths unlimited of failed requests. So this is what I have pinned it over there, and you can see here into the dashboard. I can go ahead and put it over somewhere here. I can click on edit dashboard. I can go ahead and put it over there. Okay, so like that I can go ahead and click on here, click on save. Now you have created a dashboard here. Okay, so that's how you can design a dashboard. You can go ahead and do that dashboard as well. So you can pin your metrics value, whatever is a failed request and all those things, you'll be able to do it here. Okay, and mhm. Then you have something called logs. You can go ahead and look at the log: request response time, operation timeout. What is the response time I have? You can see here, this is what the query language is. Okay, now it is showing the query language, using the query language. This is the your Custo query language, KQL. Okay, you can click on run. Okay, you can look at the fail request, operation performance. If you change that, you'll be able to change the code, and you can go ahead and run this graph. You'll be able to see those, all those in as a table. Okay, so I'm saying that request trend, how much it is going to time. It's very easy in terms of monitoring, you can say. Okay, so that you will be able to see. You have yeah, yeah, you should be. Yeah, you can export, or even you can send this telemetry data to anything, either Power BI or via your we have seen this before as well. Okay, so in this graph, that's what it is talking about. You can send this data to anything. Okay, so you can send to any dashboard, anything with the something called log analytics. You have a service called log analytics, which is there into the Azure as well. Okay, so you can go ahead and do something called log analytics. So log analytics you will be able to do. Okay, correct. You can you can do that. You can do a stream analytics also. You can do a stream analytics. You can send to the send you can send to the data to something called event hub, and from event hub you can send to the stream analytics, and you can go ahead and store in the storage account. You can do any kind of integration, which is whatever you think you can, it will be possible here. Okay, so that can be, yeah. So this is what there. Then you have something called uses. You have sessions, how many users are there. Okay, so you will be able to find here 5 users. Okay, uh, view more insight. So you'll be able to find more insight. Okay, from the United States, 4 people, India, 2 people. I don't know who is browsing from United States. Okay, so Windows 10 you have, and from Edge, Chrome, these are the browsers are there, how many events are there. So those things you will be able to see. you can find the live sessions who are currently connected. So those are the sessions you'll be able to see here. Okay. uh, if you have used something called Google Analytics also, so if you have incorporated Google Analytics with your web app, you will be able to see the similar kind of stuff over there as well. Okay. And you can go ahead and yeah, do that. Yeah, you can see the home page has been done, availability test for home page, and you can see it has browsed from the different location actually, and it is asking me from all those availability. It took a very less time if I'm browsing from some millisecond. If you say it is going to take a very less millisecond from West US, then Asia 900, South Central US it is going to 200, North US. So US, because it is deployed in East US location, that's why the East US location it is quite easy. From Australia it is taking 1 second for the check the availability. Okay, and 900 from the Asia. So this is what it is doing actually, the availability test. And you can look at the user session here. Okay, events you can have. So there are multiple things which you can look at in perspective of users. If you click on more, you'll be able to see more details here. Okay, so analytics of the page view you can go ahead and see. Okay, and those you'll be able to see who has browsed what page. Okay, so who is a unique user, and those things you will be able to see here things. So yeah, you can see the monitoring solution. It's complete a monitoring solution for your application. You can say that if you're talking about the app inside, basically it's a monitoring solution which you can implement with your custom code or the web app. It can be implemented with web app, it can be implemented with Windows application, it can be implemented with your services, and you can go ahead and implement with any other language. Either you can go ahead and C sharp, Java, Python, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby. So all those applications can support this, and you have to just use this app into instrumentation key to push your data to the application inside. And even you can see here, that's what we are talking about, the dashboard. You can go ahead and create a blank dashboard, and then once the dashboard is ready, I can say my team dashboard or something. Okay, and then I can go ahead and pull those metrics, what metrics I'm looking for, which resource group I'm looking for. I'm looking for the time. Okay, I'm looking for the other resources. Okay, so whatever you want, you can go ahead and design accordingly your dashboard, how that dashboard should look like. Okay, done editing. You can edit your matrix. This matrix should take a value from that particular subscription. This is my resource, and I can go and look at the resources, particular resource group. If I'm looking for any resources I'm looking for, any database which I'm looking for, I can say I don't want to look for the database, and I want to look for the metrics from the database, which is a CPU percentage, and it's quite unsafe to the dashboard. And now it is saying that currently the database is having a 0% metrics. Okay, even you can click on edit, and then you can start adding your users. Even you can have your application maps. Okay, there are multiple things which you will be able to do it here, and when you can customize this band dashboard. Okay, that you will be able to do. And this dashboard, even you can have it like that. Okay, you can push those data, and you can use your Grafana, you can use a Power BI to display this kind of activity as well. So this is quite we can say configurable kind of thing. Okay, so hopefully this is this we are able to do. And yeah, okay, so this is what we have did. You can see here this steps talks about the different aspects here. And yeah, creating a rules which we have seen, seeing a different usage, your availability test, your applying the monitoring. Okay, response code, investigation, exception handling. So all those are available as part of this monitoring solution. Okay.